Hi everyone, I'm Colleen and I am back for another live stream brought to you by the awesome people over at Princess Dental Staffing. So happy to see everyone on this Wednesday. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about 5 important skills needed for dental jobs in the dental industry. But before we jump into that, I just want to remind everyone that every week we're bringing you a new topic on Wednesdays to talk about starting and or continuing your career in the dental industry and bringing you some really great information. So if you like the information that we're bringing you and the streams that we're bringing you, be sure to follow our page or subscribe to our channel. If you have any thoughts, comments, insights, questions, anything like that on the content that we're bringing you, be sure to comment below. And if you like the information that we're bringing you, be sure to like this video, drop us a like. And if you want to find out more information on the topics that we're bringing you, be sure to check out Princess Dental Staffing's website at princessdentalstaffing.com, where you can check out their blog. You can also create a profile, super easy process to do that, and start looking for jobs immediately. Okay, so again, so happy everyone is here with me today. Hopefully your new year is starting off strong and positive. Hope everyone is staying safe out there. So let us jump into today's topic. So again, we're talking about 5 important skills that are needed for dental jobs, okay? Specifically for the dental industry, just because it's a very unique industry. Anyone who works in this industry knows very unique industry. So we're gonna be talking about 5 specific skills that to definitely make sure that you include on your resume and to continue to develop in order to further your career in the dental industry as well, okay? So skill number 1, we're talking about interpersonal communication. So important in the dental industry because you're working with, a variety of patients day in and day out, but it's also important to have those interpersonal communications in order to communicate, with your coworkers and with your management on a regular basis as well, right? So really important skill to have. When you use those interpersonal communications with your patients, it helps you empathize with your patients. And when you empathize with your patients, it builds that rapport, it builds that trust, and it builds that relationship between you and your patient. That results in the patient feeling more comfortable during the appointment and during any procedures that they need to have done. It also makes patients more likely to follow your advice when it comes to oral health and hygiene as well. Really important to use those interpersonal communications to help build that relationship with your patient in order to give them the best care possible, okay? Also really important to use interpersonal communications effectively with your team members and your management chain as well, right? Because using those communications helps communicate needs, changes, updates, and all those different items that help and those effective communications help the office work collaboratively and help them work as a cohesive unit, okay, in order to provide excellent patient care, okay? So interpersonal communications, super important for dental jobs. Number 2, detail orientation. Detail orientation is the key to success in the dental industry, okay? Because if you're not detail oriented, you're likely not going to be able to provide the best care for your patients. And that's definitely not something we want, right? Okay, so you have to be very precise, very detail oriented when you're working in the patient's mouth. It's a very small area and, a lot of details can go unnoticed, and you definitely want to notice those details so you get that information and you can make the best decisions possible for your patient, okay? So you have to be very precise, very detail-oriented when working in the patient's mouth, okay? Also need to be very detail-oriented when it comes to medical records, dental records as well, and procedures for, those patients. Updating those medical records, making sure you read those medical records thoroughly and using that detail orientation to be as thorough as possible and record as much information as possible. Information is paramount, right? So definitely important to do that. Okay. Number 3, critical thinking. Okay. So basically, critical thinking is important because every patient is different, right? Every patient has different needs, different, different concerns or fears. Each patient is an individual and they're very, very different. So it's important to use those critical thinking skills in order to make decisions that are logical and evidence-based in order to best help your patient and provide them with the very best care possible. Okay. So critical thinking, very, very important. Number 4, adaptability. If COVID has taught us anything, it's that adaptability is paramount in the workforce and for pretty much across pretty much any industry, right? But especially the dental industry, just because of its uniqueness and, because, you're working a lot with the public as well on a regular basis, right? So, and you're working, again, in the mouth kind of area. So adaptability, very, very important, okay? Even the best planner in the world cannot predict 100% of the things that could possibly happen or go awry, best laid plans and all that. So you have to be adaptable in order to make, in order to kind of roll with the punches and also to make good, again, logical and evidence-based decisions regarding how you're going to go forward with, this new information and, or, whatever happened. Okay. So really important. It's also important to be adaptable because the dental industry is changing all the time. New technologies, new equipment, new treatments, all these different things. So it's really important to be adaptable in order to kind of keep up with the industry and to hone your skill set and professionally develop yourself in order to know how to navigate all these different systems, equipment, and treatments and all these different things. Again, in order to give your patients the best care possible. Okay, and also to make your processes more streamlined and more effective. Okay. And lastly, manual dexterity. Okay, so manual dexterity, super important, especially if you're working directly on the patient. The mouth is a very small space, right? So you're working in a very, very small space. So it's really important to have that manual dexterity in order to complete those processes and procedures correctly and effectively, okay? Even the slightest mistake can cause the patient a lot of discomfort and a lot of pain, right? So we want to make sure that we've got that manual dexterity in order to effectively work in that kind of small area. Additionally, if our manual dexterity is lacking, it can actually delay the healing process, right? It can delay procedures and processes and therefore delay healing that the patient really needs, okay? Because we're making kind of mistakes and, we're not really working very effectively in this small space, okay? Also really important to have hand-eye coordination, okay? A really good hand-eye coordination in order to complete all those procedures as well, okay? Also, and manual dexterity is also important for front office personnel, right? It's 2021, we're all on computers, we're all typing and, working with all this technology. So it's important for front office personnel to have manual dexterity as well. Also really important for front office personnel, since we are on our computers a lot and, on our phones and tablets and all these different things, it's really important that your office is set up ergonomically, right? And it's set up so, you can continue that manual dexterity without hurting yourself. Carpal tunnel is a real thing. We definitely want to avoid that, right? So, make sure that your office is set up ergonomically, okay? Okay, so those are our top 5 skills for the dental industry. Let's go over them again. Number 1, interpersonal communications. In order to build that empathy, in order to empathize with your patient and build that relationship, that rapport, that trust in order to give the patient the best possible care, and also to work collaboratively and cohesively with your team members and your management, okay? Number 2, detail orientation. Working in a very small space. So you want to make sure that you pay attention to those details in order to, gather as much information possible in order to make sound decisions, and also to update and read through those medical records effectively as well. Number 3, critical thinking. Always want to make logical and evidence-based decisions that are best for your patient. So you want those you want those critical thinking skills in order to make those sound decisions and further your patient's health and healing. Okay. Number 4, adaptability, because COVID, because things change, and you have to be able to roll with the punches and continue to provide the best possible care for your patients and be able to make the decisions that can lead to the best possible care for your patients. Also, because the dental industry is constantly updating, and we want to make sure that we are staying abreast and of those changes and in technologies and systems and equipment, treatments, and all those sorts of things. Okay. And then lastly, number 5, manual dexterity, making sure that you can work with your hands well, not just for the team members that are working directly with the patient and in this very small area where you can cause a lot of harm and a lot of pain to the patient if you don't have that manual dexterity, but also for front office personnel who are on, all of their equipment on all the time. Make sure that you're setting up your office ergonomically, okay, in order not hurt yourself, okay? So those are our top 5 skills for the dental industry. I'm so glad that you could be here with me today on this Wednesday. We will be back next week with a new stream and a new topic to talk about. So if you, again, drop us a like if you like this content. And if you have any questions, thoughts, insights, go ahead and comment below. If we couldn't get to them when the stream was live, we will definitely get to them as soon as we possibly can. So thanks for being here with me today, everyone. We'll be back next week. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye. Stay safe out there.